recording. So hello everyone. Today we have exciting initiative. We are launching Article Discussion Club, and hopefully this will be one of our regular projects, initiatives that we'll hold once a month. So today we're holding this in collaboration with the journal Active Language Teaching in Foreign Languages in Uzbekistan. And we have the chief editor with us today. I want to start with her so that she can welcome us all and tell us a little bit about the journal. Okay, over to you, Yelena Volkova.
Hello, colleagues. Nadira, I am a little bit inconvenient because I can see the screen, and on the screen there is an advertisement, and I can see your face, but I don't see anything else, and it's kind of weird for me to talk like this. So if it's possible for 5 minutes time when I'm talking to people. Oh, yes. Oh, now at least I can see some faces. Otherwise, it's as if I am somewhere in the space. Okay. Can I ask, please, everybody to switch off the sound because some background noises appear here. Okay. Thank you, colleagues. Okay. ALTFL, Active Learning and Teaching of Foreign Languages in Uzbekistan, is a purely Uzbek local publication that was launched about 5 years ago, in August 5 years ago, with the purpose to allow the professionals from Uzbekistan an opportunity to publish locally. Why this was the idea? That's because the opportunity and the capacity to publish in journals and magazines is very much wanted, and this is sometimes demanded by some institutions, but this is not as easy as it may seem. And that's why we decided that having a local publication is going to be a very nice springboard for all those people who would want to try and publish somewhere internationally. But also, this was very important for us that in Uzbekistan, we do have very good capacity among yourselves, among your colleagues, of people who can talk about the authentic situation in our country. Because wherever we take any publication from abroad, we read very many good articles. But all of them, they speak about the context that is not familiar to us in our country. Because you would agree that every context develops through its own pace, and Uzbekistan is not an exception. That is why for us, this is very important to share what problems, what suggestions, what obstacles, what achievements we have here in our country among our professional community. And this was one of the main reasons to start this magazine 5 years ago. This is still a very modest publication, but more and more people want to publish in it. And I need to say that you will find articles not only from local teachers, but from those professionals and experts who work with the Ministry of Education, with British Council, with World Languages University, those people who were somehow engaged in reforms development in our country. So you would definitely read the article by Rod Bolaitho, and you would find an article by Les Kirkham and many other friends from abroad. So basically, this is a very nice platform for professionals in our country to try your capacity as the author. However, I'm going to finish my very short speech with telling one thing. Many people approach me, many people write to me, asking about an opportunity to write, to publish. And my first question to all those people is, okay, writing is nice, but do you read as much as you wish to write? Are you a good reader? What was the last article that you read in a professional magazine or a journal? And I do not receive many positive, and people do not seem not to read a lot of professional literature. That is why, Nodira, thank you again for this initiative, because obviously to be able to write, we first need to learn to read the articles, because only through reading you can grasp the ability of how to craft and create a nice piece of writing. So welcome all to this discussion. I hope maybe I will become a part of the next one as well, as the author maybe, or maybe co-author. But today, Feruza, I think I pass my floor to you, because you are a person with experience, you know how to do it, and I will remain on the background for any questions if people have any. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Lena, just a quick question. How can people access the journal?
Okay, I forgot to tell about it. Yes, at the moment, this magazine does not exist any longer in hard copy, which is good news, because it's easier for everybody. And you can have this magazine or journal, whatever you call it, on the screen of your mobile. If you go to Google Play, you can find AltFL. You type in AltFL, and you will see the icon of the magazine. Download the application. This is free. The application itself is free. But then if you follow the instructions, you will be able to download the volumes that are at the moment digitalized already. And the designers and the publishing house, they are working very hard trying to digitalize everything that we have. At the moment, it's about 6 issues. So now it's available through mobile application, Google Play mobile application.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you so much. If you could type in the chat box the name so that people get it right? In case.
Okay.
That would be helpful. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Then over to Feruza Akhmedova.
Yeah.
She works at the Westminster University, Westminster International University in Tashkent, and she will be our moderator for the article discussion. Will you introduce Gulnoza? What do you want me to introduce?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
To you, yes. So you are the host now.
Okay. Yeah. So assalamu alaikum to everybody. So let me start by introducing our heroine, Gulnoza Alimullaeva. So today we are going to discuss her article, Bilal is Learning to Write. Well, Gulnoza is a teacher in Tashkent International School with more than 20 years of experience. And we are going to reflect on our experience as well with the help of her article. Well, let me say a few words why exactly we chose this journal. So the reason is that we want to improve, we want to develop the only magazine in Uzbekistan that is created for language teachers. And it is interesting to learn what our peers, what our colleagues in Uzbekistan are thinking, what are they writing. Yeah. We know these people, and it's even interesting to find out what these people are thinking about. Okay, so let me introduce today's agenda. Nazirapat, could we go to next, please? Yeah. Okay, next, can we go to the agenda, please? Yeah. So we have already introduced, and the agenda is very short. Just it consists of two parts. First, we are going to ask some questions from the author of the article. I will be asking some questions that are prepared beforehand, but you can also, dear participants, ask your questions if you have any. And then we will move to discussions with all participants. You can share your ideas, your reflections, experiences, and so on, based on article. Okay, well, now let me start asking the questions from our author. So let's go to the first question. So, well, next question, please. Next slide. Gulnoza, good luck.
Yeah, it would be good if you voice your question, Feruza.
Okay, sorry.
Could you please read your question?
Yes,
yes,
sure.
Please.
Yes.
Please.
Well, Gulnoza, I would like to start from the title. As you know, in most cases, writers of the articles try to create the titles of the articles in a more theoretical and in a bit complicated way, especially if the article aims to discourage certain theory. Although I saw some theory in your article, but still I found the title of your article very, very simple. And the question is, why did you decide to keep the title that simple?
I had two options earlier. I had my two different titles. First one was Bilal's writing journey. This is how I wanted to name it. And then I think I changed it like Bilol is learning how to write, just in order to, I think I wanted to cover everything, all the idea that I, how to say, unpacked in my article. Maybe that's why I came up with it. But you know what, honestly speaking, when I got the message about you saying, inviting me to the article discussion, I thought like the title is like Bilal's writing journey. And then when I opened my article, it was like Bilal is learning to write. And then I said, so I stopped in that title. So I had my two options. So, but anyways, the second one also sounds like, for me as a writer, sounds like I try to cover everything and try to keep it simple so people can see it and see how I maybe predict maybe how I try to show the process of writing.
I see.
So wanted to show the process of writing.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, next go to the next question. Okay. So dear participants, you can also prepare your questions. Well, next question, Gulnoza. So as far as I understood, this article was the result of your motivation from your PG Cert coursework, right? And please tell me honestly, would you write this article or would you observe, even if it was not a compulsory task to be accomplished?
I am doing it. I have been doing my observations and documentation for 18 years because I have got 18-year-old daughter. I have got 3 children and Bilal is my third one, is the youngest one. And I didn't do it as a kind of theoretical documentation. I have been doing it like a diary, and I documented everything, and I kept everything, all the kind of their first writing, everything in my diary. So Bilal also, Bilal didn't have that much writing, that much documentation in his diary. So, and when Miss Lena asked me to do it, I chose Bilal because to be more honest, or to be more, how to say, yeah, just to keep the balance, I think. I chose Bilal, and I was observing him. I was doing the observations. It was like theory and practice was going together simultaneously, and it was a very good push from Miss Lena.
I see, yes. As I understood, this article is a result of 18 years observation.
Yeah, I can say like that. Yeah,
great.
I mean the documentation. This is what I'm documenting my my own children's learning process. But all of the previous documentations were not that much theoretical.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, can we move to the next question, please? Well, so this question is about your research. I noticed that you have addressed very good researchers' works. One of them just attracted me. So it was about some experiences, a parent card. To be honest, I have never heard about such kind of phenomenon. Could you please tell us briefly about this? Is it a theory or is it a kind of, I don't know. So please.
Yeah, there is a very nice resource from First Steps publication. I recommend to all of the parents who have children, especially who have younger children. And the First Steps, they come, the First Steps books come in many different titles, like First Steps of Writing, First Steps of Reading, Reading Map of Development, Writing Map of Development. All of them show all of the, how to say, stages of young learners. And the parent card also comes from that First Steps book. And it has lots of suggestions for parents. And if you go through them, you will see where your child is, where your child's learning is, and where he's heading to. So this is what I mentioned, but yeah, I know I didn't, how to say, explain the parent card in detail in my article. Maybe that's why you wanted more information about that. So it has got all of the, how to say, it comes with suggestions what kind of strategies to do and how to support the young learner to be able to write and to motivate how to write.
Did you know about parent card when you were observing your other children, or it was a result of your research for this article?
I knew it when I started working at Tashkent International School, because I'm teaching younger students in Tashkent International School, and it was we used that First Steps book as one of the teaching resources. And I love it. This is one of my favorite ones, because whenever I have question, I go back to it and I go through it. So it has lots of suggestions. Yeah, I did it once I started working at TIS, and I didn't integrate it when I was with my older children. I didn't know those approaches. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And probably my last question, please, and then we will move on to the questions from participants. Well, okay, so another curious point. Well, you mentioned that you and your family decided to introduce your son both Russian and English books or English letters at the same time, yeah? And I'm really curious, wasn't it difficult or confusing for your son to concentrate on two different languages at a time?
No, it wasn't. Why we agreed as a whole family? Because sometimes Bilal plays with me, plays with his dad, and then sometimes we gave different instructions to him. So in order not to confuse him, we agreed, we said, okay, let's just introduce both of them, because he watches lots of TV programs in Russian, and he hears my daughter's using English language, and he has lots of children's books in English. So that's why we said, like, okay, so we have got like 3 languages in our home going around. So that's why let's just try to do it smoothly. And it's a little bit challenging because his knowledge is growing like that, like a pyramid, and somehow it will join like that, because he's not growing very fast. He's gaining the both of the knowledge from Russian and like letter knowledge, I mean, Russian and English letter knowledge very slowly. And he's comparing the letters nowadays, saying like, oh, this one sounds like yeah, for example, Y in English. The letter Y sounds like yeah in English, and in Russian is U, and I have my daddy has it in his name, so he's comparing everything. He's trying to do it.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It is challenging. No, it's challenging for us how to explain, how to deliver it to him, but it's not challenging for him.
I see. Okay, thank you. Well, the questions that are prepared beforehand were these, and now I would like to invite all the participants to ask any interesting questions from our author. Well, so you can
see some questions in the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay, you can pick them or you can ask them to voice their questions, okay?
Yeah.
Can I give a question?
Oh, yes, Feruza.
Good evening, guys. Thank you for organizing this webinar, very useful one, because today, you know, many teachers are looking forward ways to develop themselves as an article writers, you know. And as for questions, I had actually 2 questions. And the first one was, Ms. Gulnoza, I also have some 20 years of experience, and based on that experience, I can say that students or learners take a particular path when developing their language skills. So first, especially children, first they observe their parents, they develop their listening, then they go to speaking, and after that, they usually come across reading, but not writing first, see? But in your case, it was a little bit different. So your son first learned writing. So he wrote some images, he drew some pictures to express himself, and then he went to reading. So, and the question, so do you think it is possible? So this is the first thing I noticed in your article. So could you comment on this? Or maybe you have read some literature that says that it is possible to break that path, to break that system, when students first face writing, then reading. This is the first part of my question.
No, honestly speaking, I didn't get that question that much, because, you know,
so to be more clear, so I want to say that as an English teacher, I observed that students usually first develop their listening skills, then speaking, then reading, and then writing. But your son first developed his writing skill.
As an English teacher, for example, if you mean like as a second language learner, they might be like that. But Bilal, he is not a second language learner here. At the same time, he is listening he has been listening lots of books. He has been listening lots of books. And he has been asking questions, what are those scribbles? And what do they mean? And then I told him, like, every book has its cover, title, and all of these scribbles give us message. And then I used to say, you look at the pictures and I'm gonna read what is written here. And then he started connecting, whatever my mom is reading, she's reading from these scribbles. And those pictures, they are the images for me to understand. And then he started making his own scribbles. If you went through my article, he would be, maybe you saw his first writing. He spent a lot of time for his writing and they meant nothing. He just wrote down different scribbles, but he made up a story. He spent a lot of time for that, and his understanding began with those scribbles. He understood that in order to give the message, you need to write down something.
What about his reading skill? Has he developed already his reading skill?
What do you think? What do you mean with the reading skill? He knows
how to write, how to express himself through those letters. And what about reading? Has he already learned how to read in English or in Russian?
He is learning now. He is learning now. As I mentioned, I recommend you to go through the First Steps book. And in the First Steps book, children are divided into different stages. The first stage that every child goes through is a role play stage. He pretends to be a doctor and he writes down the prescription with the scribbles. He goes tra la 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 la, and this is what you need to follow, like a prescription. Or he might write down the recipes, or he might make the grocery list. This is how they learn. This is how they play, because children learn through play. So this is how he played. And I let him play when he was 3-year-old. He made up his own scribbles and he showed it to me and he said, Mom, this is my writing. I said, okay, great. I didn't say, stop, writing doesn't look like that. Because, that would be too early for him. So he was in the role play stage. And then later on, he started comparing my writing with his writing, because whenever I did my grocery shopping with him, I said, okay, let's make a grocery list together. And I wrote down my own list. He wrote down his own list. And when we went to shop, we compared, we read our list, and then he started looking around, looking for those letters around. And then he started asking me, Mom, what is it? And what is that? And then he started asking and learning. And then he moved to another stage, experimental stage. He started asking me the letters. Now he knows that the letters has meaning. And whatever you are saying need to match with whatever you are writing. So now he is learning all the letters and he's trying to blend, combining the letters and making one word.
Yes.
Now
so
he's
for me, it was really interesting that a learner first had some productive experience, then receptive. It was interesting for me.
Usually, children at this age, they take the behavior from you. They watch how you are reading all the time. So you open the book and you read all the time. And then he also starts pretending reading. He did a lot of pretending reading as well when he was even 1.5 years old. Because when he was looking through the Repka, for example, he started reading, looking at the pictures. And he pretended that he knows how to read, looking at the scribbles.
Yes, yes, interesting.
This is how it looks like. And you know what? We shouldn't stop them saying like, you should read first.
Yes,
Or
yes.
it comes whenever it happens, because all of them comes together. And I don't think that they need to read and then they need to, it is impossible because kids might get exposed in many different stages.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Gulnoza,
Interesting.
Yes,
Gulnoza,
I can hear you.
Gulnoza. Okay, Gulnoza. Yeah, you have done a huge work. Can you tell us the difficulties? Gulnoza, okay?
Yeah,
Thank
I can
you.
hear you. Thank you for your
Okay.
question. So one of the difficulties is your patience. You need to be very patient with it. Because anytime Bilal says like, no, this is how my looks like. And then I say, okay, so are you happy with it? Let it be. Because I shouldn't like be the dominant of his learning. He needs to be the agent. So I try to let him be the agent, to be the dominant to this process. So it was the day before yesterday, he missed all of his preschool students, friends, and then he decided to write a letter to them. So he made a card, he drew everything, and then he started writing letters randomly because now he has got the letter knowledge and it slowed down his writing. Because you know what? It's very difficult for a 5-year-old child to write down one word. He spends a lot of time for that. And he sat down and he decided to write down randomly because he didn't want to waste his time for that. And then he laughed a lot. He said, Mom, I wrote down random letters and now if you read it, it's like uha. I wrote accidentally the word uha. It would be very funny. So he erased everything after that. So it's patience. You need to be very patient for that. And you need to let him, I think, as a parent from my own experience, I always say, okay, step back, be patient, and let him make mistakes. He makes lots of mistakes. He's not genius, but he understands and he finds his own mistakes by himself because he's analyzing, he's trying to match the letters with words.
Gulnoza,
Thank you. Thank you, Gulnoza. Thank you.
Erdogan like your questions and answering. You're a brave mom and a good English teacher. Your son has a so great name, Bilol. Maybe it's a trigger name. Bilol would know because Bilol is that generation, and Bilol is a native citizen, and therefore his steps are unique, and your first steps are very good. I found you at LinkedIn, at Twitter, have tweeted to you. What is interesting for me, I do not like the format of PhD format, where your article is included. To work with PhD format, Adobe Reader is not so easy. Maybe you change the format to simple Word, Microsoft Word, because below will grow. Nowadays, writing will become another writing. If we can see how it will grow, we can help you. If Bilal was not a real boy, he must be invented. It's a time because Uzbekistan is becoming an English-speaking nation. And Bilal is a good sign that he must not only read, but write too. I like your approach, Gulnoza. You are very brave. Thank you.
This is my third experience with my third child.
You can tweet me or you can answer me on LinkedIn.
Thank you very much. So I understand that I made lots of mistakes with my first child. with Nafisa, and it was like very traditional, straightforward method. I was introducing letter sounds to her. She was learning and reciting everything. And I regret that I realized that mistake in the end with my last child. And yeah, and this approach works very well, and I can talk about it for many hours, and I can recommend with to other parents who have young children. This is very good approach, but it's very slow. Your child learns very slowly, but he understands what he is doing, and he understands how the writing looks like. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have more questions?
Yeah, I have, Gulnoza. You told that you made some mistakes with your oldest child, with Nafisa, and this approach with Bilol, and it works better. Don't you think that for Nafisa role model, there was only one role model? There were two role models, her parents. But for Bilol, there were four role models: his parents and his siblings. Yes, elder siblings. Don't you think that this one is like a tool for success, or just this like for better approach and for better understanding of how to read and how to write? Because he sees his siblings, they are writing, they are doing their home assignments, etc., and he wants to be like they do and to do like they do. Don't you think that this worked better than just...
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you, because he was taking that behavior from his siblings, from us, and maybe, you know, he's able to do, he was able to go through this process because I was teacher, because I was doing writing, because maybe I had children and who were doing their home assignment all the time. Yeah, I do agree with you. And Nafisa, with Nafisa, it was only me who was showing that role model. That's right. Yeah.
Because the more role model we have, and the better, let's say, relaxing atmosphere the children has, the better result we can get. Yes.
But the challenging part is, like, you know what, you always need to agree with this group of people, because we need to send the same message to him, because we made some mistakes, like saying, sometimes Bilal said, my daddy said like this, and you are saying like that. So, and then we had to agree all the time, and I need to keep in touch. I need to keep in touch with other people saying like, yes, okay, please ignore his writing like this, upside down, and just ignore him, please, because he's struggling. So we informed each other about that, and we agreed with the language all the time. We tried to send the same message to him in order not to confuse him.
And one more,
thank you.
Which code switching, sorry, yes, you told about 2-3 languages, which you try to develop, and which one, do they go equally, or there is a priority to one language, and while speaking, doesn't he mix these languages? Is it a problem?
He's biolanguage speaker now. He speaks Russian, which I'm very happy, because last year he didn't speak, we didn't make him speak in Russian. He understood, but he didn't reply to us. Now we are working on his Russian and Uzbek, because he keeps saying like, Mommy, I don't like your language. So, which is English. He doesn't want to speak in that language. Maybe he feels like he's getting overwhelmed, maybe. But if he chooses English books, I read first in English and try to translate somehow. but sometimes I just skip the pages and keep reading in English. It's not difficult for him. He like moves from one language to another language when he speaks in Uzbek and Russian. I'm strictly talking to him in Uzbek because I don't want him to lose his native language. He speaks fluently in Uzbek and in Russian nowadays. But he understands English. He doesn't want to reply.
And he doesn't mix them, yes?
He mixes up Uzbek and Russian.
Okay.
Especially when he gets very upset or when he gets very excited, you can hear him speaking Uzbek and Russian, Uzbek and Russian.
Okay, I can see two namesakes are having a good chat. Thank you, Gulnozas, for a great discussion. Okay, now let's move on to the list of questions that is prepared for our participants. And now you are all invited to share your experiences, as I have mentioned earlier. And Gulnoza, Alimullaeva, now you have opportunity to have to observe other people's.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Gulnoza.
Thank
you. Well, I will pose the questions. So the first question is, so now we have all listened to Gulnoza's experience, what kind of challenges she faced, that we need patience to teach children how to write. And now, please share your experiences if you have observed your children, your siblings, or any little ones, any kind of learning processes. So what were your experiences in their learning process? So please, participants, you can write in the chat box or you can voice, please.
Can I share my own experience?
Feruza, yes, right, please.
So, well, actually, I can't say that I observed something special, but generally, if we take our children, and when I compare the way my children grow, I see that my eldest child has more potential to learn rather than youngest child. So, and a question to you, Gulnoza, and to everyone, do you see the same trend? Do you see the same pattern in the development of your children? So when the oldest child studies faster, better, and youngest they learn a little bit slowly.
Sorry. Well, actually, the question was to share your observations. Well, Dilfuza, can you hear us? Hello. So.
Hello, everyone. Can I answer to this question?
Yes, please.
I am Camila from Samarkand.
Yeah.
I'm an English teacher, and I teach English as a foreign language, not second language. So, and I have 3 children, my own, and I little bit agree with her that elder children is much more potential to learn any languages, but it depends on not children, it depends on parents, I think, because of we pay attention to our elder children's more than rather than to second and third and etc. But sometimes it will be given by God, by Allah. I mean, that, for example, my 3 children is enough active and enough potential to do and to learn. He is 6 years old and he is a good learner. As Bilol big, he draws very well. I can change the word draw like write, as her mother, how to say, write article about it. And I want to say that I want to answer to these questions that it depends on parents how to show our children's according their learning and according to their demonstrating themselves. And if you let me, I want to give a little bit comment about the article, if it's possible. Can I do it?
Sure. Yes, of course.
So I did such kind of experiment also as mother, not as a teacher. So I always paid attention on my children's drawings, writings, because I know that from the psychology that drawing pictures of children means that they want to show their inside and to say something to the parents, to say something the people who is near them. So, and I wanted to ask the author that I saw the picture where Bilol draws two houses, and there was written the word dom and papa mama. So I wanted to ask that were parents in different houses, in different places maybe, when he drew this picture?
Yeah, I think, I don't remember the date. I need to go back to his picture, but I travel a lot, and my husband also travels a lot. Sometimes my daughter travels. So yeah, we often used to travel, and then he used to draw pictures and to write the messages. I think his dad was traveling that time.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I paid attention on it, first of all. So what I want to say, thank you so much as a parents, because I don't know, I'm not experiment, but I feel like that Bilol feel you very, very much, and he wants to say that like, anyway, you are with me, my parents, mama and father, and home. It would be better if you will at home like this. I understood this picture like this. And the second question is, according to the picture, what is your hypothesis from your article, and what will bring such kind of writings in the future to Bilol Bek and to other learners? I mean, what's the advantages of these writings, and how it can help to other learners also?
Oh, you mean encouraging? Do you mean encouraging students?
Writing, yeah.
Writing. You know, they will. I think. I think Bilal is a self-learner. He's not like, he questions a lot, he inquires a lot, because he wants to experiment with different kind of learning. I mean, writing and drawing. I think it develops their independence, and it develops their writing skills as well. Because I was not like asking him to learn the letters and to put the letters together in order to make words. And he was not learning them by heart. He was not reading each word and copying each word. He was trying to experiment in an authentic way while role playing. Everything went authentically, because every time when he drew something, he wanted to write a message. He wanted to describe it, what he drew. If I understood your question, and if I got your question, I think, yeah, it develops their independence, self-learning skills.
Thank you so much. If you let me, I want to add something. It's also, I think that Bilol is, and your article is also a little bit my teacher from this period. Thank you so much. I want to add that it will also help to think critically. It will help to develop our critical thinking, not only children's, also parents too. Thanks a lot, Gulnoza.
Thank you. Well, Nazira, can we go to the next question, please? Mm-hmm. Well, what challenges can one face in teaching writing to little children? So, Gulnoza mentions that patience, yes, we need a lot of patience. But as a people, what do you think, especially the teachers who teach writing, what challenges can we face while teaching writing? So, mostly teachers who teach little children. So please share your experiences and thoughts. Mm-hmm.
Do you mean as a second language, Feruza?
Um, yeah, but you know,
Teaching writing to
we are,
children as a second language, yes?
you can speak about both of them. If you teach English, yes, you can speak from the second language point of view.
Not only teach, but yes, I'm an English teacher at
Okay.
at an academic lyceum now. But I can share my experience as a foreign language or as a second language. I can say that from my own experience, in my children, I can say that teaching languages should be equal. We shouldn't have to differ languages, or we shouldn't have to divide them into second or foreign. From my experience, they should be equal while teaching. Why not many people can speak English or can speak Russian in our country, in Uzbekistan? We have divided our program for national speakers or for foreign speakers while teaching, and while teaching at universities for specialists too. I think it is very it's not very correct for our government. We have to change our curriculums for teachers for teaching English or Russian as a second language or as a foreign language. From my own experience, my daughter, when she went to school, to a Russian school, we experienced that she just learned the language or acquired the language when she started hearing everything naturally, when from communication. But we didn't do most things to write, or we didn't pay attention to grammar very much, but from time to time, from communication and from intensive learning, she started to speak it. And from my own experience, when I taught the language using the books such as foreign books, not in our country, not by our local schools, for example, my students started learning the language, and it became more interesting for them. I can say that languages should be taught equally. We don't have to divide them into foreign or into some such kind of things, such kind of types. I think Nadrapa knows it very well from her experience in foreign countries while teaching it.
Thank you, Nilufar. Thank you for sharing your experience. Okay.
I think nothing is to compare Uzbekistan or Canada. I think
Okay.
we must speak about changing behavior of our children. This reality is changing. Things are surrounding us with all written in English. For example, days, colors, games. Only you add some words and explain how to make sentences, and children are ready because the world is changing. The world surrounding us is full of English words. Remember my time, we haven't so kind of thing. Trivia. Trivia – it's вещи, которые нас окружают. You see what the children drink? 7 juice, wonder, energizer, making wonderful behavior. Then they eat flavors, yeah? Then they play some old words in English. And we'll know that as a mom, as an English teacher, we'll read how to combine these words how to make bridging with verbs and make sentences. Therefore, Bilol will know. At the beginning of the seminar,
I am very sorry. I have to interfere, Halima. I'm very sorry. Okay, as the Halima, I'm very sorry. Can we please give the floor to the gentleman? There was a gentleman's voice somewhere because we are running slightly a little bit out of time and I will have to make another announcement in about 5 minutes. So this gentleman who wanted to ask something, can you please now appear? Thank you, Halima. Thank you for letting the floor to other people.
Okay, thank you, Elena. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, first of all, good evening, everyone. This is the first time that I'm attending in this webinar, and I'm so happy to be here. So, first of all, I would like to say a huge thanks to the author of this article, because every genius behind stands a great mom. We know about this. So, and that's why as a school teacher, I would like to say something about teaching writing little children. So what kind of difficulties, what kind of challenges we have at school? As we know, writing is productive skills. And in order to product, we have to have something which we receive it. So we should have receptive skills. So one of the most, important challenge or important difficulties in schools is that we don't give our children enough receptive skills. So in order to be able to write, our children should have, understanding, should have imagination, so that's why maybe with very little phrases or very little commands we can let them to write, but at school nowadays, according to our standards or according our our parents' willingness, in most times we want a lot from our children. So it should be start with very little steps. And again, I would pay attention that we should give our children more receptive skills, maybe with pictures like Ms. Gulnoza did, with this kind of guidance. So I think this is my opinion. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Can I also add something?
Experience?
Excuse me, Feruza, can I add something?
Gulnoza, yes, Gulnoza, please. We are ready to hear you.
Thank you very much for adding that. And the most important one that I wanted to share, and Miss Yelena, in the very beginning of our meeting, she also pointed about it, reading. We need to encourage students to read at least 20 minutes a day. The more they read, the more, how to say, imaginative they become. And they need to read, and we need to encourage them to read a lot. So we need to put books everywhere, and we need to show that behavior, like pretending reading us. If they see us reading the book, they read the book. If they see us playing spending a lot of time in front of our telephone, they will also copy that behavior from us.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Gulnoza. Okay, Nadirapa, can we go to the next slide? Probably we have left one more question, or no? If no, then I will cite a very good quotation. Okay, so next question, please. We have already talked about suggestions, right? Well, can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, thank you for your brilliant ideas. Well, so this is the last question, and I will, as I have mentioned, cite a very good quotation, conclude our today's discussion. But please tell or write in chat box at least one thing that you learned from today's article, or at least from the whole today's discussion. How helpful has it been for you? So, a few words. Well, you're welcome, dear participants. So Gulnoza, how do you feel yourself as a let's say as being a heroine of today's first session?
I still have got like, you know, so many questions in my mind, because after when we had the discussion, I had so many wow questions, like, and I think I need to do research more, and I need to do more reading, I think.
I see.
And when I went through my article before we had this meeting, I found lots of weaknesses in my article, in my writing. So, yeah. And I have got so many takeaways as well. So I'm trying to take the photo of all of the messages that was written and the questions as well. This is what I'm doing now, yeah. But I want to say thank you to everybody for reading, for showing the interest to my article. And maybe I will be able also to join the Facebook, and I would be happy to continue this kind of discussions and sharing experiences. And I noticed there are so many experienced teachers here, and I would be also happy to continue attending these kind of discussions and learn more, get more experiences from the other teachers in this group.
Okay, thank you. Well, so others, I think to some extent it has been beneficial to all of you. You can tell a few words if you wish.
Okay, can I speak?
Yes, please.
Okay, one thing that I noticed from today's discussion is that Ms. Gulnoza recognizes her own mistake. She noted that she made mistake with her first child, with her daughter. Sorry, and she didn't give up, and she started with working with Bilol, with her third child. And this is one very important message to all of us, that even we feel like sorry that if we, you know, if we made any mistake, we don't have to say, we don't just stop, but we have to continue. We have to do something new. And as Ms. Gulnoza mentioned earlier, that she is going to study hard again. And this is the most important and the main point as for me. Thank you very much for everyone who attended in this conference.
Thank you for sharing your opinions. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I think, yeah, Marzakit is right saying that we all have to be reflective, right? And learning never ends, right? So it's a lifelong process, and we develop personally, professionally, right? And yeah, we reflect on our experience as a parent and as a teacher, right? And yeah, and usually they say like poor children of language teachers, they are always under scrutiny, they are always under observation. I think they say that language teachers tend to observe their children more than others. Yeah, I think that was really useful. There was one question that was repeated a few times, so I wanted to bring that up. It was about, what do you think when children should learn a foreign language, like English mainly? So Gulnoza said from her experience, so you started early on, right? Right from the beginning. When did you start?
Yeah, from my own experience, this is my 8th year working at TIS, and my students are from different countries, foreign learners. And I have got lots of students who speak 4 languages, 4-year-old students, 3 languages. It depends on you. As a family, you need to work together, because one person cannot do it, because you need to agree. For example, my husband speaks Russian to him. I never speak Russian to him. I speak Uzbek because I want to support his home language. But sometimes if he cries, if he's very upset, I switch to Russian as well. So, the child needs support from everywhere. If you want him to speak, different languages, you need to support. and you work as a family. You need to work as a family.
Yeah, that's right. So there should be extensive input, right? So they should be immersed in that environment, right? Yeah, the approach that you're describing is called one parent, one language, OPOL, so OPOL, right? So yeah, it's one of the approaches that you can adopt. But yeah, I think it doesn't depend on the age, depends on the methodology, the way you're teaching your children, right? A language, when they are kind of acquiring the language, right? You're not teaching them, I don't know, grammar or kind of just repeat, right? But when they are engaged in games, right? Songs, maybe watching cartoons. So when it is fun for them, so they easier and better, no matter what age they are, right? So, and I think that the research shows if they learn a language before their critical age. So there is a Russian theory about critical age hypothesis, which is around age 11, 12. If they learn it, then there are more chances that they will engage with that language on an emotional level. And also, like, there are more chances that they will speak it actively. So if you want your children or your students or your cousins, nephews, nieces, they were people mentioning. So yeah, you can start early on, but make sure that it is fun.
Okay. But another important point that I want to mention, the first thing that we need to support is their home language. If there is not base, they will not be able to, they will not have nothing to build on. Yes, so because they build everything on their home language, because we shouldn't forget their academical skills as well, because we should support their academically and their language as well. And unfortunately, most of the people in our country, most of the parents, they just put their kids to Russian schools and they lose their home language. And then, for example, me, I was not able to be translator because, I speak Russian and Uzbek as well, but academically, my Russian and Uzbek is not that much strong enough.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. Well, Nadira, can we go to the last slide, please? I can't help sharing the quotation, let's say, that I have come across while preparing these slides. Is it visible to all of you? Well, a man learns only by two ways. One by, what was it? I can't see my own slide. One by reading and the other by association with smarter people. So, so why I want to share it with you? Because this very quotation refers today's our discussion, namely to ALTFL, the magazine, the only magazine for language teachers in Uzbekistan. So I really want to call all of the teachers to read this very magazine and find more smart people. This magazine can introduce you, can provide you with interesting articles to read and a lot of smart people. So thank you for your attention. Yelena, I think you are going to do some announcement, right? So
yes,
this is all.
Yes, I'm going to give a task. Yes, I'm going to give a task for everybody who is interested. I cannot push people, but there is a motivator that I'm going to share with you. But first of all, Feruza, thank you. You did a great job. And by the way, for those people who are joining us today, let me introduce Feruza as a new member of the publishing team. She's going, oh, children. Children on the background. Feruza will be serving in the magazine as an editor and as the regular facilitator of discussions like this. And if anybody is interested to join our group, please let us know through Nodira, through the email that everybody knows. And it's very easy to find us. And here comes the motivator. I know that this is very difficult to start writing, but I also know that when you read, you have lots of ideas to respond back to the writer. So when you read an article, you can say, oh yes, this is true, or no, I don't believe you. So the task is, find yourself an article in the magazine, read it, and if you feel that you want to answer to the author, write your answer, and we are going to publish it as an article. So it's going to be a dialogical nature of the article. Rather than creating your own idea, find an article, get it read by yourself, personalize it, and respond to it from your personal perspective. And we will be more than happy to publish it, even though if it's not very big, if it's a tiny one, 500 words, 700 words, but we will publish it. And I think this is quite a good start for all those people who do not have any experience in publishing. If you have more questions, you know probably how to find me, and I will once again share the information through the Facebook page. Okay, so that's it from me. Nodira, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone. So yeah, there are some people asking how to, the email and how to publish articles. Can any of you write the email in the chat box, Feruza or Yelena? And then
I'm using my I'm using my telephone. Feruza, can you do it if you are on the computer? Because I am not on the computer.
So what should I write? You mean my own email, right?
Yes, you can write your own email and magazine's email, whatever information. You can give people so that
I
they
will
can
leave
contact
my
us.
own email. You can contact me, please.
Okay. Yeah, I think thank you very much. Irana also commented that Yelena's idea is great. Yes, so writing a what is it called, reaction, right? So sharing your reaction to any of the articles that you read in the journal. Yeah, and it would be a kind of a good start for you to start writing articles, right? Yeah, thank you so much for everyone for making this event happen. I think we had a really good discussion today, and I really liked the conversation and all the questions to the author, and people were sharing their own experiences. So I hope, we will have these on a regular basis, and people will be more willing to come up and share their reflections. Thank you, Gulnoza. Thank you, Feruza, for hosting, and thank you, Yelena, for organizing all this.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you very much.
See you in next sessions.
Right.
Thank you. See you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Raikon, you can publish it even if you don't live in Uzbekistan, right? Yelena, she's asking, can she publish even if she doesn't live? I guess so, right? Yes. So
yes, sure.
Yeah, right.
Yes, because in the article we have some foreign authors. You're welcome. Sure.
Okay, thank you so much. Stay safe and healthy. Yeah, stay tuned. Tomorrow we have another great event. That's on IELTS Online Forum, right? With 4 speakers, like our high achieving best teachers of IELTS, IELTS instructors. So stay tuned and see you tomorrow. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.